You like Shinpei, don't you?
Why? Why do you say that?
It's obvious. You're not the shadow. Still won't change your mind?
I like you. Really? Princess Vicky! Ooh, like that old Chip Skylark song that I've heard my mom play. Hey, Vicky, you're so aching. Never heard of it. No.
All right. Just want to make sure this is on. The recording's on.
Cool sound. It was like, wow.
Yes, it was. Let's make sure this is working. And you can still hear me perfectly, right?
Yeah, I hear you. You're nice and crispy.
Ah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we might as well get this thing underway. Introduce yourself. Who's Merk Nyugen I'm speaking to here?
You know, I'm still trying to figure that out. But I would say Merk Nyugen is a multi-hyphenate person, voice actor, lover of life, punny person. The name Merk is a pun. Yeah, storyteller in a nutshell. But voice is like the through line in Merk's story.
Okay, that's nice to know.
And I'm not going to be referring to myself as Merk, so I'm not going to be speaking in the whole third person thing. So we're good.
Hey, whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat, my friend.
There we go.
So, all right, so I divide up in this part. So we're going to do with section 1, voice acting career. How did you get into voice acting, and what drew you from journalism to this field? Because I heard that you did journalism too.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. In a nutshell, I got into voice acting through passion, dreaming, really bad a mental health dip, and also just like meeting the right people at the right time and not giving up. So where should we start? Okay, journalism. Man, deep dive. Where should we begin, Phil?
I would say start at the beginning. Start like when you first started journalism. How did you like navigate through that area? And then after that, how did you shift your focus to voice acting?
Okay, so journalism, I got interested in that because growing up as a kid, I loved stories. I loved people and I loved books. And so books were kind of my escape. I feel like in my family of 5, so there was my mom, dad, sister, brother, and then me, I was pretty quiet, which people who meet me today, they're like, you're not quiet, what the? But I think growing up, I just listened to everybody and like what was going on and observed. And so books were a way for me to like connect to people. Talking to people was a way for me to connect. And so both of my siblings took a news production class in high school, and I wanted to be just like my older siblings. And so when I got to high school, I took this news class, and my assistant vice principal at the time was like, hey, you should do this program called Radioactive for youth, a lot of like youth of color or like marginalized community youth,
Right.
And gave them tools to learn public radio and storytelling through that form. And I applied not one time, not 2 times, but my 3rd time. It was that after I graduated senior year of high school, I got into this program that allowed me to explore storytelling. And so I told the story of my dad's escape from Vietnam, Vietnamese American. And that just I like to say that his life story started my life as a storyteller. And so from there, I didn't realize you could make money telling stories about people in your community. Granted, there wasn't that much money in public radio. There still isn't. It's being taken away. Ouch. But I just fell in love. And I think growing up as a listener and, observer, it just made sense that audio was that medium for me that I just kind of fell in love with. Like we were besties the whole time, but that was like the sleeper bestie. Like, oh, you know what? You've been here my whole life. And I think just learning the tools to audio editing, all this stuff, it was a really familiar world for me. And then the leap into voice acting, podcasting was like the next stepping stone for me.
Right.
I knew that after spending some time like in the youth program and then eventually working my way up to the newsroom, doing freelance stuff for NPR and whatnot, I loved how I was able to learn how to like research something thoroughly, write something really quickly. I liked working under pressure, but I think it just felt creatively like in journalism, you're supposed to tell people the news and that the facts, right? And I'm like, I have more opinions, or just like there's more of myself that I want to explore. And so I thought, oh, podcasting, I was like, oh, that seems like a really cool next medium that seems like it kind of meshes well. And so I'm a huge proponent on like using your voice, advocating for yourself, and like using the resources that you have to get you to where you want to be. And so people within the radioactive program were like, hey, there's this podcasting job and this podcasting job. So after doing some research on you, I learned that you also are a graduate of journalism and media production studies. Yes.
Yeah, I graduated from St. Augustine, Florida.
Nice.
Blackguard College. I've been there since I went in 2019, graduated in 2023. So I learned a lot. I was trying to make sure I knew everything. I had to sometimes I go somewhere I don't have all the tools and I don't get all the information. But these days now in 2025, I'm learning to read more and just gain a lot of information. That way I'll know what to bring to the table. Because I think I also was saying stuff in my stories before I even met you, that I was going to this convention. I've been tagging some of the voice actors. I've been telling them the do's and don'ts. They've been some of them recognize who I was when I walked in the door because they like the videos I'm putting down. And I've been doing a lot of research on these things. Probably going to do the same thing for Anime Week in Atlanta this coming Christmas. So I'll just do my research because there's a lot of voice actors going to be there, and I want to make sure I be able to research my things and know exactly what to do. But yeah, I also did photography.
Nice.
Photography. I do take pictures of models, but after the little incident in April, I just put photography back on the shelf. So I had to go back to my college playbook and think about, okay, what else can I do? I need to take what I learned from college. What else can I do? Then they came after me saying, well, I did do 3 documentaries, and I'm good at talking to people.
Dang. And so then this just kind of fell naturally then, it sounds like.
Yeah. And to be honest, it's much easier than having to go out and find new models to take pictures of. You know how many models are across the globe? They're like away from this location. So I figure, hey, let's try having these conversations with people. Talking about like the thing is, I bring on like models, I bring like business people, I bring tattoo artists, illustrators. I actually have an art person next week on the show. So I'm just trying to stay productive and trying to bring diverse people in here. I will say this. I did one with Anime Inc. Art. She's a Black-owned business person. She's actually at Anime New York City right now, so I interviewed her before she went there.
Oh, snap. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I just been keeping it busy. I have another one coming up because the thing is, this time I'm doing 3 people because I never done that before. I'm trying to test new things out. Thing is, we're gonna be having a conversation. Lately I saw a post that was really kind of disgusting. This was this one person who was using blackface for cosplay. So I was like,
nope.
Why would you do that?
Not
so.
cool.
It was a lot of stuff, because they were saying like a lot of nasty things. I'm not going to say it in here, but you can take a look for yourself. But yeah, I also called them out on it because I had to see who you were, and I was like, "Is this you right here? Is you? Hey, listen, when somebody causes trouble, I just gotta make sure people know, hey, this is the guy that's causing trouble. Make sure you report him."
Yeah.
But sometimes I do the positive and negative stuff. That's part of doing media, right? I want to make sure I expound like all kinds of details. Now, me, I'm actually back in school. I'm about to be done with my cybersecurity program.
Oh, snap. So, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. I have some friends who have studied that. And yeah, that's versatile. It sounds like you have explored and are exploring lots of stuff. It sounds like you're in your SpongeBob era. I'm in my SpongeBob era. I think we all are. And what I mean by that is like like soaking up the things that you want to take and like squeezing out the things that you don't, and being excited for the things, even if there's, like not great things. I think that's really cool that you are able to like call people out, hold them accountable to just being a better person. So
Mhm.
yay.
Yeah,
Um,
but
you
I'm
know,
just, I'm just trying to open my mind to new things, and I'm just trying to like keep my option open. Here's the reason why I went back to school. While media is amazing stuff, that job in the area in that field can be a little limited
mm,
because there's really not a lot of media jobs going around these days. So I was like, okay, so like, okay, let's take for example. I know like some of you guys, and I think, do you know? Okay, do you know Rico Fajardo by any chance?
no, I don't.
Okay, so he's a voice actor. I had a conversation with him when he was in my hometown back in February of this year. We actually talked, and I told him that I know some of you guys, y'all have other jobs besides just voice acting, because I know voice acting is not all you do. Some of y'all do like auto engineering. Y'all do like voice acting classes, all that stuff. So I know it's like, so pretty much it's like, okay, until something else comes up, what can we do in the meantime?
Yeah, seriously. It's just making use of the skills that you have and the things you're interested in too. I mean, like that's again, like going back to the whole like how I got to here.
Mhm.
Podcasting, I think I identified just in my heart and in my mind, like, I don't think public radio is where I want to be. I see the
Right.
importance, but I see like the jobs will get limited. And also it was in 2016 when in the US we had a new ruler of our country, as we know, to where I felt really discouraged and no longer safe to be in journalism. And like my hat goes off to everybody who, still stuck around and is in it. And, public media just continues to get cut and cut and cut. But I think that's when I was like, I love all the skills I've learned here. I want to be more versatile and do something else. And so podcasting seemed like that natural medium for me to continue exploring storytelling, continuing exploring my voice, and just like
Right.
getting to do exactly what you're doing on the other end. And so I had two jobs after I graduated college. I went to
Right.
Washington State University, and the two jobs were part-time. One required me to move to New York, so I lived in Brooklyn for like a little over a year. And then the other one was based in the Bay Area, but they were cool with me living wherever. I'm in Seattle now. I was born and raised here. And when I say Seattle, I mean like a suburb north of Seattle, but Seattle to the non-locals. And yeah, that podcast, the host position, the one that was based in the Bay Area, that eventually became my full-time job for the next 3 years of my life, slash it was 5 seasons of the show. And it was amazing because I got that job, I think when I was 21, and I think I left it when I was probably, well, math, right? 21 plus 3 equals 4. I was like 24. I think when I left, or 25 or something. Anyway, it was just the nature of the show was like
Right.
my co-host and I, it was really dependent on our personalities and the stories we had to share in our lives, especially as young adults, young, BIPOC. He was Black, I'm Vietnamese. And so just getting to explore who we were and are in that very specific time in our lives. That was also like pre-pandemic is when we got the job. And then
Yeah.
we continued to produce the show through 2020 and 2021. But it was like, in getting to really explore storytelling and people and stuff, and just like writing and editing more on the back end. Again, I feel like I'm kind of like a Pokemon. I continue to evolve, as we all do. We are all Pokemon. We're all SpongeBob. We are all characters in animation, I guess. But I felt like for podcasting for me, because the nature of the show was so intimate, like, yes, we did interview people. Yes, we did go out on the street and interview just like random people of the world. A lot of it was also like narrative essays, essentially poetry that we were sharing.
Mhm.
And we explored themes of like identity, like, religious, sexual, mental health was like a huge one, racial identity. And I think I got to a point where I was sharing so much so openly that I was like, okay, when I turn off the mic and Merk is not on, I felt like there was no off button. And also, I think everything that happened in 2020, I'd moved to LA in February 2020. And it was, again, the nature of my job and my day-to-day life didn't quite change that much because I was already remote for podcasting, but obviously the world changed around us. And I felt like I finally processed everything that happened in 2021. A lot of things I feel like led to my mental health downfall. Like I was in a severe depression for months and months, and finally realized, oh, I am anxious. I have anxiety. I can put a name to this. And so going to therapy, starting to take medication, just being really open about where I was at in life and what I wanted to do. I think it was like around that time is when I felt like, okay, this is where we're gonna get very gray. So trigger warning to all of listeners and to you. It was just such a dark, dark place. And I felt almost like there was like no hope for anything. The world was changing. I didn't know what quite brought me joy anymore. And throughout all of that, like I do have a faith background. I'm Catholic. And so I at the time I wasn't confirmed in the church, like, and I still continued to pray, but I was like, God, like, why am I so sad? Like, you've given me everything I want. I said I wanted podcasting. I said I wanted to have a romantic partner. I said I wanted all these things, and yet I'm so sad. And in hindsight, I grew a lot from that, but also I think part of why I was so upset was because in my podcast job, I had so much creative freedom, but I felt like I had done everything I'd wanted to do there. And I felt so much guilt for leaving this community of people who knew very openly about my voice acting career. Because let me go back a little bit to your original question. It was probably in 2018. So around the time that I graduated college, I got those podcast jobs, was when that little inkling was like, hey, you could be a voice actor, specifically because Hotel Transylvania 2. I love the first one too, but there's something about Shrek 2, Hotel Transylvania 2, like the twos, chef's kiss. I think seeing Hotel Transylvania just made me feel like, oh, I didn't really think about voice actors before. And so a seed was planted in my mind and my heart and all that. But I think reaching like my rock bottom in 2021 is kind of what propelled me to go up, because I'm like, well, if there's truly nothing left, I mean, I feel like past me planted a lot of seeds for like that present me to be where future me is at. I'm kind of skipping through a lot of things, but yeah. Does that answer your first question?
It does. That's a lot of context. Hey, the more context, the better. But I respect where you're coming from. I know you have been to I know you had like a lot of tough challenges. One thing I will say is, and going off of the whole movie things, I think the same situation that you went through is kind of like the movie Soul. Like, like he did what he wanted to do, but it wasn't as fulfilling as he thought it was. Like, pretty much everything that you've done before, you were already in the ocean. Just had to recognize the water.
Oh, that's really, really beautiful, especially because water has such of a prominent presence in my life, in all of our lives too. But there's something very powerful about water to me that it will tie into, I'm going to guess there will be questions of where do I want to be next, what I hope for next. And if not, I will answer my own question because I had a podcast too. No, I'm kidding. But no, but for real, that's really beautiful and poignant what you just said.
Hey, I made sure to pay attention. When I was a kid, I watched Cars so many times, but I didn't pay attention to what the context of the story was supposed to be about. But now, since I'm an adult, life is about the journey, not the finish line. So,
Man, I thought you were gonna say life is a highway. I won't ride it all.
I could say that too. I could say that. I could that too. So
I gotta say, hold on. I rep so hard. There's this Cars jacket I got in Cars Town at Disneyland or California Adventures. And I rep that really hard at one of my other jobs, which outside of voice acting, I edit audio on the side. I'm a mentor for audio editing. And I also work in our a local school district's tech department, working on Chromebooks and stuff like that. And so I rep that hard. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's great. All right, that's a lot, but let's go before that takes up any more. So listen. Please do not judge me, okay? Do not judge me. Can you? Because I haven't seen the show yet, okay? Can you describe your experience voicing Jasmine Tran in the Fairy Odd Parents: A New Wish?
Oh,
Can you walk us through that?
my baby girl. Yes. So that show is incredible. And I grew up watching Fairly Odd Parents, the OG. Not gonna lie, I didn't watch like the live action spin-offs and stuff like that.
Yeah, Great Bell and everyone. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. But I remember, as a voice actor, you get so many auditions. You don't know what you're auditioning for a lot of the time. And I remember for this one, I knew it was a Nickelodeon project. I knew it was very specifically a Vietnamese American girl who wanted to sing, but sang very poorly. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool that there's a very specifically Vietnamese American person. Because part of the reason why I want to get in voice acting, not only Hotel Transylvania was awesome, but
Mhm.
growing up, when my mom and I would go to the theater, she would always stay and watch the credits and point out all of the Vietnamese looking last names. And when I was younger, like I'm talking like 10 and under, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. I'm Vietnamese, but there's a huge part of me that wanted to be white. I was like, okay, I get we're Vietnamese and stuff. And my parents were very prominent in the Seattle Vietnamese community of just like honoring the past, honoring people who were lost in the Vietnam War, and also like where we are today. But I think because I spent so much time with my parents, eventually I grew a sense of appreciation of, oh my gosh, being Vietnamese is actually freaking cool. I love this part of my heritage and my culture and my identity. And so her pointing out the last names were like, I actually want to fill those holes. And so when I saw the role of Jasmine, I'm like, wow, that'd be so cool. And like, I learned pretty early in my voice acting career, like, don't base your measure of success by how often you're booking. Because when you do that, your passion becomes like a numbers game and you start to fixate.
Yeah.
And so like with this audition, I just had so much fun and I just let go. I was free. And then it was a few months after that, I got a call back and I was in my parents' house. So I recorded from, closet there, had a lot of fun again. And then it was a few months after that when I had left my podcast job, but they had asked me to come back to speak on a panel it was called Youth Wellness Now. It was this convention or like conference that was all about like young adults and young people sharing stories about mental health, how to report and like talk about it openly. And I was on 2 panels and then I go to the bathroom. My phone had blown up and like my agent is a very busy woman. She does not have the time to call me, but she had called me and I missed it. And then other people at the agency were calling me. And so I finally call back and she's like, hey, I have some great news. Congratulations, you booked the role of, Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish. And I had received the email as I was sitting on the toilet. I was sitting there and I was like, what? And then I called her and I'm like, wait, are you there? So I start crying, but then I can't tell anybody. And like that was
No
it was
spoilers.
no spoilers. It was such like a high time because it was like I achieved a very specific goal of like wanting to be in the voice acting industry for like kids TV/film to represent for like Vietnamese Americans or just like Vietnamese people. And as I grew more in my identity and like who I am and what I'm all about, I'm like, oh, I actually represent like a lot of people, people from the suburbs, people who are Catholic, people who are queer, like all these things. And yeah, so that's how I got the role and received the news. At least I recorded over the period of about 2 years. So from like 2021 to 2023/4. Okay, 3 years. Math, y'all. And I had so much fun doing it. Like I got to record most of my stuff from my home studio, aka my super cool padded out closet. And since
Wow.
like, yeah. I'm also accessibility. I want to show people who are everyday people like you and I that like you can achieve these like really big goals and dreams that you have for yourself. But a lot of it is like, again, using the resources that you have. And one of the biggest resources is not giving up on yourself. Cliche, but for real. But but yeah, I got to record from wherever I was at. I did get to go to Nickelodeon actually in Burbank once. It was on Halloween specifically, and I had a dubbing recording for an anime I was doing. And it just worked out that like one day I had the recording for Summertime Rendering, and then the other day was the Nickelodeon one. The Nickelodeon one was supposed to be remote, and I was like, can I just do it in person? The studios are 1 minute away from each other. And so I did that. So I got to go to Nickelodeon dressed as Cora on Halloween. And it was so cool. It was very cool. It's still very surreal that I've booked that job and like it's all out there now. I hope and pray that we do get a season 2, which let me tell you, on Netflix it says season 2. That is not season 2. It's just season 1 cut up into chunks.
Yeah.
But, anyway, just to be part of this team, there's so much I can say about it, from the writers to the other cast members and like the technicians and all the animators. We had a wrap party for season 1, and just like the love in the room and the passion and the excitement for like what the future of the show could be was incredible. And when I saw the show for myself, like on TV, I was like, I cried. Of course, I cry a lot. It's also probably like I like water because it's coming out of my face all the time. Yeah, they gave me a lot of agency to be like, hey, nobody else on the team is Vietnamese, so like if you have any qualms with anything in the script, please let us know. And they actually listened to me. There was this one moment where I talked about like, hey, I think Jasmine should refer to her grandma as like grandma in Vietnamese, and I didn't know if they'd keep it in. And then when I saw it playing on Nickelodeon, I was like, they kept it in. Oh my gosh, they listened to me, because of course they did. But like, again, like I think part of the reason why voice is so huge for me was because growing up, I listened a lot and I didn't feel like I had a voice that mattered growing up. I think being the youngest in my family meant like I was the baby. So like everyone did stuff for me. They like, oh, I don't have my own original thoughts. You're the baby. Why would you? You're happy all the time, right? So, yeah, full circle of just, my voice matters. I'm here.
Well, hey, sounds like you just hit a home run with the show. I think from the way you talk, it sounds like a very extraordinary experience for you. Like, because I know like with many voice actors, like it's you have to wait for the opportunity to present itself. But I know that you just kept going and just keep putting down stuff. If it comes down, like to be honest, you just do the best you can and just keep the train moving. And I know you just kept, you didn't give up. You just kept praying that you got it. It happened. And now here we are.
Here we are. Again, it's still so surreal. I'm not gonna lie, it's a really big flex. Like being back in my hometown, getting to share this cool thing. Because when I'm like at my, district job, people are like, oh, so like, what else do you do? Oh, I'm a voice actor. What? Like, it's cool. I used to be a lunch lady too for a little bit. And it's not like, yeah. Before I got the tech job, my husband, he actually hooked me up with the tech job. But being a lunch lady was cool because it's not like I'm there like putting on characters for the kids or anything. I'm really just giving them lunch. But just like to see the very people who may or may not, but hopefully watching the shows that I'm in and like the stories that I'm part of telling, they're like, if I knew that Dante Bosco was serving me pizza fries, like that'd be awesome. But if I didn't find that out until like I was an adult, that'd be such a mind trip. So hopefully like the kids out there in the school district know like you can go where you want to, but life is, as we said, life is a highway. Life can get really rough and stuff, but there's so much hope to chase after like things that fulfill you.
That and just take one day at a time.
Yeah, seriously.
Next question. What's your favorite type of character to voice and why?
I like voicing characters that are really moody or really stoic because it's such a contrast from what people think of me, like how I present myself out in the world, I guess. Like Zephyr in the game Fragpunk, like she's just like super, doesn't use much of her voice, and when she gets excited, it's very yay, woohoo. And I love that because naturally, I think like when I'm not in an interview or whatever, I do speak lower. I love singing and like speaking with my lower voice, but for the most part, when I'm conversing out in the world, I go a little bit higher.
So, well, hey, you have a way to switch back to dark. I'm all dark. I was like, hey, I'm happy. Just kind of, sort of. I like. It's nice that you get to switch back and forth. You can be a light character when you want to. You can be a dark character when you want to. I guess it just depends on the character they're telling you to portray, or maybe just the type of day you're feeling.
That's true. And so that's why Summertime Rendering, that anime, so good. I'm very biased, but like the story is great. And getting to voice the character Mio, who, can I spoil a little bit? He's
Go
been
ahead.
out for a hot minute. Okay. Yeah, so like Mio, she usually speaks in like a higher thing, kind of like this, almost like Jasmine, but a little bit older. But then there's like a shadow aspect to like the world and stuff. So like I still had to speak in her voice, but it was more dark and stuff, as opposed to more like up here. And that was really fun to voice her as a character, but like two separate characters essentially.
Yeah.
The way we recorded that was like I did all of regular Mio and then all of Shadow Mio, so that way I didn't have to like constantly switch back and forth. But yeah, I hope that I'm able to book another role that's like an older, like wise, like leader kind of role. Like if we're talking dream roles, like someone like Korra would be the dream, but like older, you know. I haven't canceled out live action Korra if that ever comes, you know. I'm focused on my voice acting career right now. I have not canceled out on camera, but I'm also not actively pursuing it at the moment just because I don't feel like, I don't know, there's something that's like stopping me from doing that right now. But yeah, some kind of like leadership role, you know?
I got you. Leadership
Yeah.
role.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure everything's gonna work out as long as you just, don't let your brain be all over the place. Just try to focus,
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I know what you mean. Just like,
just focus on one thing and then focus on the other.
mhm.
It'll work itself out.
Hmm.
So, so how do you prepare for a new role or character?
This. I use my imagination. I'm not even kidding. When I don't have SpongeBob out on the canvas like this, he is my Zoom background or like Google Meet background virtually. Truly just tapping into where my mind takes me. The cool thing about having these like pretty mundane, not even mundane, but just like chill jobs is that there's so much room for my mind to just, I'm constantly inspired by like the people around me, the stories that they share and stuff. So I think what you just said recently of like, depends on how you're feeling that day. That's a huge part of it. I think it's like what I already have in my brain and my heart, what I've recently been exposed to, I guess. But also it really depends on like the script I get, the words that are presented in front of me, and like ways I can help bring that to life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just again, I'm going back to my SpongeBob here, but I just soak up whatever's there. I squeeze out what's like, I'm not really feeling that, and then just like add my own flair, I guess.
Oh shoot. Well, hey, like the SpongeBob words. Hey, I've been watching that when I was a kid. Sometimes I go out at school, but my grandma forced me to do homework first. So
Man, she's teaching you responsibility. Oh, grandma.
yeah, these days I've been watching the old cartoons. I have been watching some of the OG Looney Tunes stuff. I was actually watching Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner today.
Oh, no way.
So I was like, man, this feels like I'm 7 years old again.
I love
Those
that.
cartoons never get old, so I just sometimes I watch a little cartoon before I have to go to work.
I love that. And I love that too. And I think that's a part of the reason why I wanted to get into voice acting was because even if you're watching an adult animation, there's something so like beautifully nostalgic about cartoons. And it brings you back to like, oh, I'm sitting here, maybe it's Saturday morning, like I'm in my pajamas, like watching something. Even if you're a full grown adult about to go to work, there's something within you where you still feel that like magical thing from when you were little. And I think getting into like animation and voice acting was a way for me to be like, even if I am 88 years old, I will still be a child somewhere in my heart.
Exactly. And listen, yesterday I posted on Instagram saying like, man, I love this show when I was a kid back then. It was they were I reposted the Static Shock opening.
Oh
So
no way!
I was like, man, they need to the Static Shock deserves all the respect it can get now.
Hey,
So
time to revive it. Time to get those viewership numbers in. Let's go. Because hey, if something like that happened with Avatar, like it did well when it was around, but then it just like it had huge resurgence later. And I actually didn't watch that much Avatar as it was actively coming out. It was later, so there's hope.
there's always hope. So here's a little emotional one, okay? Have you
Ooh.
ever had a role that challenged you emotionally or technically?
Mm. The technically one would probably be the Shadow Mio.
Okay.
Because when it was my first dub ever, and I was so self-conscious. And usually for dubs, like they want you to be in studio. Um, and like the voice director was super nice, the engineer was super nice and stuff, but I was like so in my head about that, uh, that like, you know, ironically, there's like Mio and then Shadow Mio, and Shadow Mio is like the darker one.
Right.
Inside of like Merk's head, I guess I'm going back to third person now. Like there was Merk here, like, hi, okay, I'm here to do the job. And then Shadow Merk was like, are you actually good enough? It's probably gonna sound so crappy when it comes out. And like I'm having those thoughts as I'm in the booth, but I have to be like, no, stop it. I love you, but stop that. Stop that right now. And so I think that was both the most like emotionally taxing and technically taxing for me because of like that switching. It was very fun and challenging, but also for the most part, I'm in my closet recording. So when I'm there in person with people, I know that was like the norm for everybody back in the day, but because like the norm I grew up in was like being away from people, I'm like, okay, I love people and I'm physically around them. I gotta adjust, and it was a lot. I also think, technically speaking, it's challenging to do video game character death noises, which we usually save for the end of sessions. But
Oh,
like, usually I am so drained after that session. Like, why am I so tired? Oh, yeah, because I just died 5+ times. I
oh,
jumped over things. That's why we usually save like screaming and stuff like that for the end.
oh boy, them death screens. I can imagine what you had to go through and doing those death screens again. I was like, I think she's probably screaming her head off.
Yeah, I mean, because also usually for those things, they're like, okay, give us like, 30 seconds of death or something like that. It's like, okay, sometimes they will give you more to work with, like pretend you're getting shot, pretend you're getting hit in the gut, pretend you're getting sliced here or whatever. And you're having to think on the fly. Also, you might be hearing my cat meowing. It's dinner time. But their basic needs can wait. We're
It's okay. Hey, trust me. Last person I talked to, she had her cats right behind the computer. So, she calls them Lottie and Dottie. So they're sisters.
Mm,
But here's the thing: she's allergic to cats, so she can't rub her eyes at all.
I'm allergic to cats too.
Oh, boy.
I love them, but I do like the Costco nose spray and like over the counter allergy pill, and it works out. If not, if I don't take it, my eczema just like starts acting up. My hands get super itchy.
There you go. Have a lot of first aid kit. Where's the first aid kit?
Hey, medic!
So, all right. So we're out of that section now. Now we're in section 2, behind the scenes. What's your typical day like when recording for a show or anime?
Okay, so for a show, I will, if it's a day of recording, I'll usually have gotten the script like at least 2 days before I'm supposed to record, usually about 5 days. So at that point, I've had time to like look it over, and if not, I read the script in full. And then I look at, what my character's saying, what's the context. And for TD animation, when you're in a session, you'll be in a Zoom room with everybody. So like the writers, the voice director, the engineer, and usually you have your mic set up and then you're recording your own backup audio in the background. And then the engineer, there's this thing called Source Connect. I don't know if have you heard of Source Connect? So it's like a way for engineers to get access to my microphone directly, as if they were picking it up like from my house and stuff. You pay for it and stuff like that, but it's pretty industry standard. So they have Source Connect, I have Source Connect, they'll connect there, and that way they can like adjust volume and stuff like that on their end. But the voice director will be like, hey, what's up? And the writers are usually off camera, and like the voice director will have their own separate call, like a headset, where the writers are giving them feedback in real time that I can't hear, probably because they don't want to hurt the actors' feelings. And then the voice director is on Zoom with me here and the engineer. It's like, okay, here's a script. Let's do a slate. So, like Merk Nyugen, Jasmine, whatever the day is. And then if the line is like, hi, Philip, I do an A, B, and C. Philip, hi, Philip, hi, Philip. And you go really, really quickly. But yeah, so you open the script, digest it, go into the recording, record, and then after that, you celebrate a day's work. For a dub, it's a little different because, again, you're in studio. So you go to the studio, check in, put your phones away, all that. And then, they'll be like, okay, so this is the episode we're doing today. Here's the scene we're starting with. We're going to play it back. You'll watch it. And then after that, you'll do one take. So I'll watch and go, okay. And then, I'll see the lines on the screen and all that. And then after that, the director's like, okay, let's do another for safety, or like they might give me some more vocal notes or whatever. And then we'll move on to the next. I feel like for animation in general, we don't linger anywhere too long because, like, as a SAG-AFTRA voice actor, you are recording for 4 hours at a time, and that's it.
4 hours sounds like 4 years, but but it's a lot of work involved. Listen, the longer you record stuff, the better it'll be. Listen, I know there's a lot of people, like a lot of voice actors. Lots of voice actors out there who spend hours and hours behind inside of a voice box. They want to make sure listen, the worst thing you could do is rush things. Even rush is not going to be perfect. How do you think some of these people in these movies and everything, they took their time? Like, I be telling people, hey, okay, tell you what happened with Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios. They've been doing 3 movies back to back so fast. The Marvels flopped pretty badly. Ant-Man and the Wasp, it wasn't as good. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was amazing because James Gunn directed it. Of course, he did the new Superman movie.
Yeah. Very good.
They took their time. Like you can't rush perfection. Listen, here's a little saying. It's all about the quality, not quantity. That's why I be telling these studios, like, listen, they don't be listening to me on Instagram, even though I tag them. Take your time. We're not going anywhere. 9 times out of 10, I will tell them, hey, I will tag like a studio or something. They're not gonna see me after all because there's a lot of messages going out. But take your time because we're not going anywhere. Great things take time. You're not going to get everything done in one day. It's going to take like maybe a month, maybe a few years. But you just gotta. It's like eating a whole cake. You want to make sure you eat one piece at a time.
Right. Put some in the fridge, put it in the freezer if you're like, I'm all caked out, but then you'll get back to it. Yeah. That's why I'm really happy with where I'm at in my voice acting career, because it's like, it didn't happen overnight, but in the grand scheme of time, it does feel like, if we're just looking at my life in like a little vacuum, it's like, oh, that happened pretty quickly. But even still, I feel like for my career, I'm not looking for like this rise to fame and this quick thing. No, like I love the work that I do in all the jobs that I have, because I feel like also in taking your time, you're able to like really be present. You're able to be really authentic and genuine to where you're at. And that's what we're all seeking at the end of the day. I think that's why, because all these studios, like you said, are like just pumping out so much content, we've lost some of that spark. You're like, okay, here's the formula. They're going to be, kind of cheeky here and all that. But then when like a story comes along that's like, wow, this feels like an original take. And you can tell the people who are part of it took their time, and it just feels different. And like even in animation, right? Like even though we do go quickly, it's still it's that time that you don't spend in the booth that also helps prepare you, and that's what makes the performance so good to even get into that mind space.
Yeah. And going off of what you said about Fame, I watched a little, like, I think it was like a little TED talk. I think, no, wait, it was a little podcast that Josh Brolin was in. I think you recognize him as the voice of Thanos in Avengers Infinity War.
Mhm.
He was saying, like, this profession, this day and age, 9 times out of 10, actors want to figure out how to be famous. Whereas back in the day, it's all about paying your dues.
Mm.
So basically, in his message, he was like, "Don't just do it to be famous. Do it because you like the passion, and the art of it, and you like doing it because you like the passion of it. You like the art of it. Because here's the thing. Like listen, I was on that trap myself. I was on that train myself back when I was in college. I was so focused on just being known. I'm taking all these good pictures, but am I taking the time to understand why I'm doing it? What kind of story I'm telling? So I had to stop, and when I got to this year, I had to stop, put it back on the shelf, and just feel like maybe slow down, and enjoy life a little bit. Other thing too is that when they had the My Hero Academia, you're next. Listen, you're the only first person I'm telling you this because I wanted to talk to Marisa Artistic era since he was at the world premiere. Eric, here's the thing: I got jealous that they are at the world premiere, but I had to respect. These guys are voice actors. They deserve. They deserve to be there to appreciate the hard work they done.
Mm.
And then in my head, my language, I was like, and you know how I got over that jealousy over time.
Hmm.
One, at the end of the day, it's just a movie. Doesn't really fucking matter in the grand scheme of things. And two, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about her. It's about the story you're putting out there for everybody to enjoy. The hard work, the creativity, the passion, and all the stuff you put into these characters. That's what it's all about. All that other stuff is just noise.
Mm.
So pretty much it's like, okay, we had our time to shine. Now it's back to regular stuff. So just keep doing what you love because you never know what you're gonna get out of it. Don't try to be famous. Keep doing what you like. Don't try to do it just to be famous. Because one thing that Lizzo said, it was during the Breakfast Club A&M show. She said, "Don't try to be famous. You'll never leave. If you want to do art, do it without fame."
Mm. I'm just soaking up all the words. Lots of wisdom shared here.
Hey, I do my best to pay attention, so I'm just make sure to have some stuff down to talk about when I have these interviews.
That's
Just like
awesome.
something to have. I want to make sure I have references.
Yeah, you came prepared. I feel like this is a Hot Ones interview without the spiciness, like the physical intensity. Although I did do that for my last birthday, it was very fun. I had the guests, like my friends and family, I had them write questions as they came in. And I didn't do 10 sauces, I did 7, but there was da bomb, ouch, and then the last dab, which I'm like, I've had it before, it's okay. But the questions got stronger in intensity, and it was like it was so much fun. So you're very thorough, and I'm so grateful to be here.
I try my best to make sure I have to ask the toughest questions and show hospitality here too.
Ooh, okay, bring on the tough ones. Come on, I'm ready for it. I've eaten the bomb before. I got this.
All right, I'll get to it. How do you collaborate with directors and other actors during a project?
By openly communicating. For directors, because we have just that limited time, just like really listening to them and knowing and trusting that they're listening to me also. Thankfully, I haven't had bad experiences with directors yet. I hope that continues to be the case where it's all good. And for actors, for the most part, I, record solo, and the relationship with the director is so important. But like for Fairly OddParents, there was this one time we had an ensemble recording. So it was me, Kyle, who voices the voice of Dev, and then Gray Delisle, who voices everybody, so she in that recording was voicing one of the other students, but she's a freaking legend. Azula, Vicky, like so many people, right? And I remember when I got the email, because you get like, okay, here's the script, here's the episode, here are the characters you're recording. When I saw it was ensemble with her in it, I was like, oh shoot, what? Oh my gosh. And so here, I gotta turn my gain down a little bit. But I remember I had to keep it so chill. Maybe I didn't have to, but us three are like in our little Zoom boxes, and I was like, oh hey Grace. She's like, oh hey, what's up, Merk? And inside I'm like, And I'm like, but like I saw her work. And so I think she was the first one to record. And when she did, her ABCs were so quick and she was just so confident in what she had done. And I'm like, okay, just being in a room with her, I feel like my game has instantly been elevated tenfold just because I got to see her in person in real time and how she worked. And she probably doesn't even know the impact she had on me in that, but that helped me get so out of my head there. So I think just like getting to admire and see the other actors working. My agency, CESD, we there are a lot of classes available to us where we work with other like voice directors or like, casting directors, and getting to be in the room with other actors and like how they perceive this piece of copy or this character. It's just amazing to watch them and to learn from them, and also like know that they're watching me too, because like truly as like solo as this job can feel sometimes, it is so collaborative. So just remembering that it is a community. And I think that's part of why I've kind of stayed away from on camera, like not to clock on camera. I haven't fully been there yet. Like as long as I've been taking voice acting classes, I have been taking on camera too. I used to do theater in high school, a little bit in college, and improv too. But like that's where I'd like to be somewhere in the future part of my life. But right now, there's something familiar and comfortable with the community of voice and voice actors that like, I don't know. I haven't tested the other waters yet of like on stage and on camera yet, but I love that aspect of this place.
That's great. It's nice that you have those kind of relationships, because I know a lot of people have relationships with some of the people they work with. Communication is key.
Mm.
If you don't have a strong communication, then I won't be able to perform as accurate as I would like it to be. So I think it's nice. And I know that you had like those few like different, there's these different sections we need to cover. Like we need to get through part one of this. It's like different chapters out of a book.
Yeah.
So you just had to make sure, so you knew that we needed to read each chapter of the book and try to execute it out here on the show.
Yeah, seriously. And another thing too is like, because the nature of voice acting these days, I know is very different than before, where everybody was in the same physical room at the same time. Making use of the resources we have, again, going back to like that accessibility and just like going for it. When I was recording for Summertime Rendering, Stephen Fu, he's amazing and incredible human being and actor. He voiced Shin-chan, who's like the main, or Shinpei, male character in the show. And like, even though we never saw each other in the booth at the same time, like our call sheet, it would have his name. And like there are notes there, so I'd be like, "Hi," and then I found him on Instagram. Was like, "Hey, so excited to, I think once the show came out, I'm like, you did awesome job. Like, I'm so glad that we can stay connected here." As well as another actor, Jason. He was also on the call sheet, or no, he wasn't on the call sheet, but I loved what he did with his character, so I found him on Instagram. I was like, "Hey, I was Mio in this thing. We technically worked on it together, even though we never saw each other." So just like social media, although I do have a specific relationship in that, like, it's so draining to me. That's why, again, with the whole like not pushing the fame thing, I could do so much better having more of a digital presence, but I just don't have the interest for that. And I use it as a tool to connect with other actors or like, people I take classes with and be like, "Hey, what are you up to?" kind of thing. Because community is all around us. And I think sometimes we forget that.
Yeah. And it's nice that you said that, because I know I went back to, because I was like, okay, well, this is not, I understand now that I don't really need all the attention. Maybe instead on social media, I'll just showcase all my work and just let y'all have it. Here's what I like doing. I just like having information, just putting it out there and letting y'all think for yourselves.
Yeah.
Like doing all these podcast episodes now. Listen, I'm no longer trying to doing this for money. I take now in my head when I first started. I'm not doing this for money. I just want people to listen in so y'all can have like, oh, okay, so she did this. Maybe I can do, because like I said in my description, I want this to be able to help somebody.
Yeah.
Like most of these times, even with voice acting, somebody wants to get into voice acting. This could help someone who has like, listen from someone who has like these kind of experiences, what to do, what not to do. How can I get from point A to point B? How can I get from here to here? Basically, because you have a lot of people who like, because They dealt with like Chinese medicine. They done illustration. I have talked to a lot of SCAD students in the area. I don't know if you know SCAD. It's the Savannah College of Art and Design. They do like televisions and arts and movies, but they also do a lot of anime stuff and comics too.
Hey.
So they also like they lost thing is they take the time to like brainstorm and understand what do we want people to remember us by when we like leave our stuff out when we're finished, like the projects, the stories we've told, any kind of inspirations that could help someone in the future.
I love that. That what you're doing is very aligned with what I'm doing too. Because I just simply hope that my presence in this space, even if someone just sees my name for like a quick second, lets them know like you also are welcome here. You also can be here too. That's why like when I meet people, I'm like, I love telling them what I do, and like if I see that they're really serious about it, I'm like, hey, I can share with you what I know. As long as you're willing to put in the work, like I'm willing to put in a good word for you here. But
yeah, listen. Clout Chase was so 2019 to 2023 for me. I'm done. Right now, I'm just focused on enjoying life, just enjoying the small moments in life, and just having more of these kind of like conversations.
Well, hey, good job. We're doing it.
So, next up, are there any funny or unexpected moments that have happened in the recording studio?
Oh gosh. Funny. It was probably when I went to record at Nickelodeon that day where I was dressed as Cora and it was Halloween. Like I was so freaking pumped to be there. Also, I was running late because I had just gone from the anime recording to the dub to getting bubble tea, which I thought was gonna be really quick, and it wasn't. So I was a little late. So already I am coming in with this like really frantic energy of like, oh my gosh, and I had a sip of boba, so already like caffeine. I was like, ooh. And I'm like, hi, oh my God. So I think because of all of those things, my mouth was like super dry. So as we're talking, it was really like mouth noisy, and so the engineer kept being like, okay, drink water. Like after every sip he'd be like, so it's that moment kind of stuck with me and reminded me like, oh yeah, Merk, drink some water so people aren't hearing you smacking. I'd say probably that, and also just like again being dressed up as Cora, my dream character there was like it just felt like being a kid and like getting told by someone like, hey, make sure you eat your veggies, make sure you drink your water, yeah.
That's true. Listen, I know sometimes sometimes that it could be like that. You want to make sure you stay hydrated too. I know you want to make up for all the time. I'd rather you arrive safe instead of just trying to rush through the door and might hurt yourself. But,
oh no, now I can't record.
so, but that seemed pretty hectic for you. You just I know slept through your alarm or something. Just but hey, it happens to the best of us, right?
Yeah, it does, and we're human. We're not perfect, and that's okay.
Exactly. Let's see. Do you have a particular routine or ritual before going into a recording session?
I definitely pray. I'm like, dear God, thank you so much for getting me here. Also, I pray that you just Holy Spirit come through. I hope I'm not super anxious and just like let your calm come over me. Let this joy be present and all that. But I do a lot of like lip trills, like a lot of like face stretching. There's also, I learned this in public radio. Behind your ear, like right here, there's like, if you push down on it, kind of like where your jaw is at on both sides, it like releases part of your mouth a little bit. And one of my old bosses, the general manager of the station, was like, if you just massage here and just, it gets so neglected, and remembering to massage that every now and then, because it's, again, very physical work. I think those things, taking deep breaths. I also, like, even before this interview, conversation, I was pumping out push-ups because, again, I get this thrill of energy every time I'm about to, like, go on or, like, do something really exciting, and that's just a good way to get some of that anxiety out.
Okay.
Doesn't help that it doesn't, then it makes the arms look good. The more swole my arms look, the more anxious I probably am. So Hey, use what you got, right?
Definitely. Um, so we're halfway done. I know it's a lot, but I thing is, I had 20 questions, and I have 5 questions for each section.
Hey, it feels like we just started talking. I'm down to keep going. Let's go.
Just want to make sure. Just want to make sure because I just want to make sure I got everything out. Make sure I ask the toughest questions here.
All right. Yeah, we haven't even got to the bomb yet.
Yeah. So hey, listen. People underestimate me. I do my research. You know, I was up a little late last night coming up questions for you.
Woo. Oh, thank you. Grateful, grateful.
So yeah, it comes with the job. So section 3, personal life and inspirations. What inspired you to pursue a career in storytelling, both journalism and voice acting?
It probably would be voice. Just the importance of voice. How it's different for everybody, how it matters to me. Again, coming from a place where I felt like I lacked it and didn't see the importance and value of my own voice. And that's where just like a lot of like invalidation would happen a lot of my life. And I feel like now as an adult, like I see the ways in which that shows up. Times when I don't speak up for myself when I could have. I'm like, ah man, because I've definitely grown in that. But I think in all those things, it's not just my voice too, but it's like the voices of the people that I'm serving. So for journalism, it's like who I'm talking to, who I'm interviewing, what community am I trying to share this story with? And similar with podcasting too, you know, elevating their voices. And even now as an audio mentor, I work with an organization called Wanawari that's all about like preserving Black voices and community and stories. And so the fellows in the cohort that I work with, they interviewed a lot of people in the community, and instead of calling them interviews, they are specifically referred to as like oral histories. And instead of an interviewee, it's the narrator and their story. So like even being present in being there to mentor someone editing their audio, that's again another way to lift up somebody's voice for their community, for the world. Yeah. And I've also thought about like what would happen if I didn't have a physical voice. Like one day I got super sick and like, you know, I just like didn't have a voice anymore. I think about that often. Or like, you know, I want to be a mom someday, and like what if one of my kids like doesn't have the capacity to physically speak? There are so many other ways in which we can communicate with each other. And so I think what it comes down to is like connection is actually how I would answer your question. Right. It comes down to connection, feeling connected to the world I was brought into, the people who are here, and like what we're doing with our time here and the stories that we want to tell.
Right. And that's a lot to pack. Because I know somewhere. Hey, it's good that I care. It's good that I just want to make sure I'm listening, make sure I word this out as possible. It seems, you know, you had to make sure this is something that you really wanted to do. And I can tell this is something that you really want to do. Some people just look the other way and go find something else, which is okay. I know fear is a natural thing. Trust me, I get scared every day. I get scared every day when I wake up. But here's the thing. I still go out the house.
You do? So,
I mean, because, you know, going outside despite all the fear just makes me a better person. So yeah. I just don't pay attention. Once I get through the day, the day's over.
Right. And then on to the next.
Exactly. And I know, you have to take like every day, like it's, you know, step by step. There's probably a lot of lessons you have to learn on the way to get to where you are now. And guess what? You probably still have a lot more to learn in the future.
Oh yeah. I got a lot growing ahead of me, God willing. But I'm excited. I have on my LinkedIn profile, we are all students and every day is an opportunity to learn. Cheesy, but true. And we have the choice. That's the awesome thing about free will is like we get to choose how it is we spend our time here on earth, you know? And that's a beautiful thing. And with that comes like a lot of ways in which you realize, oh, I actually wouldn't want to do it this way. I had a public radio mentor tell me once, you know, sometimes you got to figure out a lot of the things that you don't want to do in order to really find the thing or things that you do want to do. And so for me, like, I think knowing that voice has been so special to me. Like I didn't pursue journalism and podcasting because I'm like, voice, yeah. But subconsciously, kinda, and I think as someone who like thinks everywhere, ADHD, it's all around, voice has been like that constant for me, whether I realized it or not. And storytelling. It's been cool to see the different forms and mediums that I've been able to like interact with and experience in my life so far. Knowing that the through line, the thread is voice. And then, if we're talking like on a personal, spiritual, like all that level, it's like water and the presence there from the places I've lived to just like how I experience it, just water being like rebirth, life everywhere, different forms. Yeah, and that's like us, we could come in so many different shapes and forms and stuff like that, different places.
Right.
And we're all very, very different. And at the same time, we're all united in that we're humans and we're here. We didn't choose to be here, but we're here.
And we all have our different quirks.
Yeah. Yes. Like My Hero Academia, which I'm so glad that you mentioned that because my husband and I have been, we were watching it. I mean, I was already watching it on my own, like back in the day, but we're not caught up to where the current story is at. So we just watched the last thing we watched was like a really big fight when they're I think it was past the one when they're in the dome, like earlier on when they're in training.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I think we had to take a little break because he watched it, was like, oh my gosh, that was so intense. Like we need to settle a little bit, and then we just haven't gone back and just watching so many other things.
Well, y'all better hurry because the final season's in a month and a half. And I guess what? I've been watching this series over and over again. I just finished season 5, and I watched the 3rd movie. So probably after I watch a few more animes, I'm watching Rosario Vampire now and Claymore. So after that, maybe I might squeeze in one more. Maybe I watch the second half of Blue Lock, and then afterwards I'll go back to watch season 6.
You could watch Summertime Rendering if you haven't already.
I haven't. I'm gonna go check it out too.
Be mindful that it gets dark. It can get really gory, but I mean, you kind of expect that, right?
Well, hey, I'm trying to broaden my horizons, watch stuff that I've never seen before. My sister got me into Naruto, so I blame her for that. So
yeah, you'll have a long time to explore that one.
So, because after that, I'm also trying to check out because I met AJ Beckles at Bold Matsuri. If you check out my YouTube page, I actually had look, you're gonna hear me geek out for a second. So,
do it.
Ever since I left, animazing, I was like, okay, so apparently I'm missing something. What am I missing? Cue the research because I do research. Okay, so I did my research and I was like, wow. People are using GoPro cameras these days. Went to Best Buy in March and got a GoPro camera.
Nice.
So after that, I also got some Rode wireless microphones and everything. Hold on, I actually got this stuff right next. I got the stuff right next to me.
You got the good stuff.
Yeah. So see, like this. That's everything I'm using. So I didn't use it this time because I was like, maybe I should stick using my headphones for a second. So maybe I might do it in the next one you might see. But yeah, I got a lot of technology here.
Cool.
So and so people gonna be like, well, I spoke to AJ Bells. He told me I should get into Don to Don. But I was like, man, if only there was a way I could show you my reaction, his reaction. Oh wait, I was like, oh wait, I actually had on my GoPro camera that lets me record video. So I hit record and got a few good snippets.
Yay! Making do what you got and also doing the things that help get you to where you are.
So, but yeah, the thing is, I did a series from Bold Matsuri called Interactions with Voice Actors. Like I said, I'm trying to find a way to talk to those people because thing is, those voice actors are like S class. Like you're not gonna be able to it's gonna be hard to get them on here. So I had to start somewhere, or But here's the thing, hey, I like interviewing you so far because they say you made some person. Don't listen. Don't listen to all those other people. Every voice actor has equal abilities. But yeah, like people like AJ Beckles, Erica Lindbeck, Christopher Sapp is gonna be difficult. So it's gonna be difficult. But thing is, I just kept persistent instant because I was like, you know, oh, I sent an email out to like I sent a lot of emails out. I got no responses back, so I had to figure out what's going on, and that's why I had to brainstorm, go around and ask. I listen when something happens, I go around and ask questions. I don't just sit around and just wait to do nothing because that's not going to get me anywhere. So I was like, okay. So after I talked to Jay, I was like, okay. So emailing these agencies doesn't do any good because unless you're like a big media outlet or something, they'll start they'll put you at the bottom of the list. So
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we made this happen too, because I think Jay had reached out to me and was like, "Hey, can you do this?" And I had to keep on rescheduling. But the time that we rescheduled, like I actually got to speak with you on your show. Or I mean, brings us to where we are now. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Cause I'm super happy to be here. And like I understand what it feels like to be on the opposite side of the chair. But knowing like that your show was all about really just a conversation. No filters, just conversation. I'm like, yes, I can do that.
I just want to keep it simple. Like, listen, I don't want to sound fancy or anything. I just want to just be something simple. Because listen, my only username is just Phil. So I just go like Phil Coach 2000. I was like, I don't need no special name. Listen, even my regular name, I can still do amazing stuff.
Yeah, no, my name on the socials is Ultra Rad Uber Fad. That's not a nod to like plus ultra or anything. It's in middle school. So my best friend, who has been my best friend since preschool, like we came up with this thing like I'm Ultra Rad, she's Uber Fad, and so it's just like a nod to like our friendship. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Whatever name works for you. That's all I can say. But yeah,
Merk.
I think I'm gonna stick. I think I'm gonna stick with my original name. Thank you very much. So, let's see. Who are your biggest influences and mentors in the industry? And I think you already named some of them.
Yeah. But to officially answer this question, in the industry, well, Ashley Crystal Hairston, she plays Hazel Wells in Fairly OddParents: A New Wish. She is a powerhouse. Not only is she an incredible voice actor, but she also is a writer and the showrunner for the show. I believe she's the first Black woman on Nickelodeon to do that, especially like all three at once too.
Wow.
And she also, fun fact, is from Seattle as well. I mean, not from Seattle, but like around Seattle. So when we exchanged numbers that one day at Nickelodeon Halloween in the bathroom, she was dressed as a minion. And we exchanged numbers. I'm like 206, which is a Seattle area code. She's like, what do you know about 206? And I was like, I'm 425, which is like nearby. So we exchanged numbers, and like she's been really helpful in just like getting me to know more industry knowledge in terms of like pay and stuff like that. Because when you become a union actor, like no one sits you down and is like, all right, here are all the things that are available to you, and here's all this. So it's like you got to ask the homies, like, what's the real tea here? And she's someone who I can text and she'll like give me the real tea, which is like super, super helpful for me. And that's really, it's been nice to like not feel scared to ask, and knowing that I have the resources of the people who've done this much longer than I have. So definitely her. You said inspirations / and or mentors, right?
Yes, that's what I said.
I mean, Dante Bosco rocks, full stop. Gray Delisle, as I said, incredible.
Talking about Daphne?
Wait, Daffy?
No.
Yeah. She's
Daphne,
everything.
Great. Oh man, I thought she's been in so many. She was Daphne. She was Sam Mansion. She was Kitty Catchwell. She was Catwoman in Batman: Arkham Knight. Oh my gosh, she's done a lot of stuff.
She's done like everything. So people like them have been really awesome for me to just like look up to and be like, dang. Charlie Adler is also someone who he does a lot more voice directing these days, but I took one of his classes and I knew him from, do you know the show Brandy and Mr. Whiskers on Disney?
Yeah, he was also Cow and Chicken.
Yes. Yeah.
And then, and also thing is, I was actually watching Avengers Assemble today. He was MODOK.
Okay, yeah. So he's still he still has like just a flourishing career. And taking his class was one of the first voice acting classes I took, and that also changed my mentality on things. It was around that same time I learned like don't place your success in, how much you're booking, but he also said put your success in how you felt before, during, and after the audition. Because if it feels good to you, like one of the things he said was like, what I say is when you get a script, like instead of reading what they want, just
Right.
fuck it, do what you want, and so you'll do your own take, and then he's like, and then read what they want and then tailor it. But he helps give me and a lot of other students in the room just like that confidence to just like use our imagination to play, be creative, and like, own it and to feel good. I think that's what a lot of this career is like feeling confident about what you have and just doing it.
I'd say, just put one foot in the door, just get moving.
Yeah, seriously.
Next one, how do you balance your professional work with personal life?
When I'm done recording, I am done recording. I also don't get attached to the work that I do. And when I say that, what I mean is like you get a lot of auditions in a day. And once I send one off, I don't think about it anymore. There are some, especially when you know what the project is, even if it's codename, you're like, I hope I get this. I still feel that about some things, but I have to learn to detach and let it go. And I feel like, as a Catholic, so I practice Lent, and like that's before Easter. And so during that time, you kind of experience a lot of like spiritual, it's like you're in a spiritual desert, right? And so like this past Lent, I like didn't consume a lot of media, and also like I just detached. Detachment was the word that was the ultimate fruit of my Lenten journey, because I was able to detach from my work. And by that I mean I didn't place all my emphasis in like I'm a voice actor, all my value goes into this. No, it doesn't. That's one of the cool things I do, but it's not everything that I do. Granted, it does take up a lot of what I do, but like I'm so much more outside of the mic too, and remembering that it also keeps me grounded. I think also just like being physically where I'm at now in my home, like surrounded by family and stuff like that. I lived in New York. I lived in the Bay Area. I lived in LA. I got to explore these really cool big cities like on my own. But I think there's something so grounding to be with my people and to know like when the mic is off, I still show up as a daughter, as a wife, as a sister, as a friend. And all those things matter more to me than what I do as a profession. I think in the podcast job, I learned the really hard way that there does need to be a balance, because again, there was no off switch for Merk.
Right.
My real name is Angela. So the pun of Merk is a nod to former German Chancellor Angela Merkel. It was a college nickname that stuck. And I think knowing like, okay, Angela also exists and Merk exists. We are the same person. But I think that helps me keep a balance in my life. And yeah, it's so important. It's everything. I experienced so much burnout with the podcast job, and that's where I will say I gotta go back to your previous question of inspiration. Cora is such a pillar for me in my story of where I'm at now and where I'm going, because like I said, I didn't watch Avatar: The Last Airbender actively as it was coming out. Every episode, every now and then, I'd watch like an episode with my brother. But
I do the reruns.
yeah, exactly. But Cora, like, it was my then boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, was like, hey, like we should watch this show together. And we did that. I was in LA, he was back in Seattle, and we would just like 3, 2, 1, play, long distance relationship, just watching it. But when I met Cora, and like I just deeply resonated with her character, what she was going through, and like her struggle and her battle. And like that was I had watched that before I went through my own mental health battle. And so just like kind of leaning on her for strength. So that's where I would also say like Janet Varney, who voiced her, who also I got to have an interview with her one day. So cool. Again, there's so many like spiritual things in my life and physical things that have happened that have propelled me to believe like if a live action Korra happens, you best believe that I will at least get an audition. At least that's the hope, right? I'm very aware that there's so much out of my control. But again, that's where detachment has helped me be okay with where I'm at. And I also got to take a class with Andrea Romano, who's the voice, who was
yes, Andrea Romano. Yes.
let's
She's done Batman the animated series. She's done Superman. She's done basically every DC show from Batman the animated series to now, like to she's like Batman Beyond, the Batman 2004, 2008. The list goes on. I could continue if I want.
Exactly.
But
Legend.
yes.
Absolute legend. And so, okay, now I'm going to derail into a story real quick and then bring it back, okay?
Sure.
Because with my agency, there was like one class, and I really wanted to take the class with her because, like, she doesn't really do classes anymore, but she did. And someone at the agency was like, hey, there's one spot left. Do you want it? Like, I'll reserve it for you. I'm like, okay, fine, go. So I paid for it and everything like that. And the class was split up into 2 different sections. And at that point, I had only known she had voice directed. I didn't know she was the casting director too. But in class, like we had scripts we got to choose from. And then there were scripts that we could just like share with her and she would give us feedback and we would perform in front of the class. And a lot of guys in the class were reading as Batman because they knew of her work. And one of the guys, Luis, was like, hey, thank you so much for this. You helped make a dream come true. I got to be Batman with you. And it was there where I had a spark and I was like, oh, I already sent in the scripts that I was going to read, but I could create a script that's Korra. So like as people in class are going, I'm like putting together the script from like, pieces from Avatar Wiki and like putting Korra's image there. And then I sent it in. So the next day when we had class, I'm reading as Korra. And the first thing she says is, whoever put together this copy, it's not very good anime or like audition copy. And I knew full well, like, oh, I was the one who put it together. Of course, it wasn't an actual audition, but I got to read as Korra. And after that, she was like, she gave some direction. She's like, I got to say, if we were recasting to this day, you'd be a very strong contender for Korra. And I started crying and she's like, oh, no, don't cry. I'm like, no, you don't know what this means to me. Because like the whole Korra thing, my connection to her, but also just like the possibility of, we know live action Avatar happened. It's possible that live action Korra could happen. Maybe not right now. We don't know. But for her to say that already, it's like a dream has been fulfilled. At least for 10 minutes, I got to experience being Korra with Andrea Romano, the very woman who cast Korra in the animation. And so for me, that is fulfilling that goal, that dream in a way that I didn't intend, but was very specific and it happened. So with all of that, now I lost track of the question that you were actually asking, but yeah, I think the original question was like, the balance of like work and personal life. And it's why I love Avatar so much. And just like the Avatar exists to like have that balance, right? And I think along my journey of getting to where I'm at now, there has been a lot of challenges to understand who is it that I am, who is it I want to be, how do I want to show up for myself and like the people around me. And a lot of that is like slowing down. I feel like that's like a huge thing that I'm being told in my life is like, slow down, be present.
Right.
And also like know what you're about, like know where your boundaries are, know this and know that.
Yeah.
So I'm at peace right now, truly.
It's nice. And if I can add this on, I saw something like different. One thing, how can I say this? There seems to be like a running theme with a lot of voice actors these days, who seem to be, very overwhelmed by the voice acting and the fandom that's going around. And what's equally concerning about that is that how some fans will just brush that off, like they don't care about the voice actor's mentality or something, like, because I know you have to listen. as I was saying, as I told these people before, there was an incident that happened like earlier in August. I'll tell you in a second. Um, shoot, hold on, I'm trying to gain my thoughts. Oh, you guys, like, listen, behind those voices that y'all do, you guys are still human beings. You're not immortal. That's what some fans just don't understand. You know, like, y'all gotta respect that these people put a lot of hard time into the stuff you're doing. Sometimes they do have to rest. What happened was, I think you're familiar with Demon Slayer by any chance?
Mm-hmm. I haven't
So
watched myself, but yes.
yeah, so what happened was, and this was going around online, I just had to do a video on this saying, like, y'all gotta respect voice actors and their boundaries. What happened was, this girl, I think she was on the autism spectrum. Even if you're on the autism spectrum, you can't be doing stuff like that. What happened was, she actually found Zach Angler's hotel he was staying at, and that was like,
Mm.
why? Why?
Mm.
So next day, security had to kick him out. Because now that made Zach very uncomfortable. So I listen. Was still, like I said before, like, I do other things too. Like, I just look at videos, I do the analysis and stuff, and I just had to do an analysis on that video because I was like, come on, they grew up like us, they live like us, they've done all these certain things. Listen. Y'all got to respect their boundaries. That's all I got to say. Listen, I'm one of the good ones because I respect all the work y'all done. And listen, it's not easy, like, living a regular life and everybody knows who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really tough. And I just want y'all to know that I'm one of the good fans out here. I mean, I'm not just a fan in the crowd or something. I'm actually a person to know your story and your like back. I want to know your backstories. I want to know why you did all this.
Yeah. No,
So,
much appreciation there for sure.
so and guess what? And guess what? Some of the voice actors I even met before, they recognize who I am because they like all the questions I've been asking them about, like the most important stuff. Because I want to know about your life, and how y'all got to where y'all need to be. But I just thought if that's okay, if I can, I don't know if this kind of related to this kind of situation, if it's possible. I don't know if it did.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I'm all about connection. I see the ways it connects. You're just showing a lot of respect and appreciation for us as like the people that we are. Because again, at the end of the day, we all do different things, but what's uniting us is like we're all humans. And I think that sometimes, yeah, we as people can forget that,
Like, I can't just listen. I can't just show up at a person's house unannounced. That'd be way too, uncalled for. Like, listen, if I
what are you doing here? How did you get to Seattle? Why?
yeah, like, listen, if I wanted to come over, I always ask permission. Listen, if I want to do something, I ask permission first. Listen, if y'all don't respond, I just keep it moving and go find something else to do. And listen, you're not going to see me show up at a voice actor's house in a lifetime because, to be honest, even if y'all invite me to come, I don't feel comfortable about it because I'm like, I'm in the voice actor's house. What? I don't know if I feel good about it. Like, what if, y'all invite me for a project to do, like, do I really want to do that? I don't know how I feel about it. They invite me to come in and work with them on something. But how do I feel about doing all this? I still listen. Even if y'all invite me, I still feel bad about it.
But even if you were specifically asked, do you think that that's because there's a part of you that wants to keep that separation? Is of like, okay, that's like it's too close, maybe.
Yeah, that's me. It's because my parents raised me that way. I gotta respect people, but I guess it just depends. But
I get that. Okay, so I like cooking and I like baking, right? When I learn how to cook or bake a dish that I like, I don't want to buy it elsewhere anymore because I know how it's made. And like not part of like the sauce is lost, but It's like when you see how the sausage is made, you don't want to, it's like sometimes you don't want to see the wizard behind the curtain.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like voice actors are wizards or anything. Maybe some of us are, but no, I'm kidding.
No. but just knowing you got someone here who respects the work y'all doing. I'm one of the good ones because I like to make sure I do my research, ask questions, ask permission,
Yeah.
because that's what I'm doing now. Like, when I was at, I know like there was some barriers I had to overcome first, like because I know I had to like talk to the agents first. Hey, can I please talk to this person? If
Mhm.
there's any additional information I can provide, I can do that. Just let me know what we can do to make this work. Like,
Mhm.
for example, like, hey, I want to do this. Like I want to do this sort of thing. What can we do about this?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, I feel the respect here. You're good. And thank you.
no problem, no problem.
All right,
I'm
hit me with the
trying.
next one.
Sure
I
thing.
want
Sorry,
to
I'm going.
experience the bomb.
Sure thing. Um, let's see. What hobbies or activities help you recharge creatively?
Baking. I love baking. And video games. Video
Oh,
games.
definitely video games.
Yeah, I love story-based. Of course, I love story-based video games. I play a lot on my Switch too, which your girls got right here. But I love even non-narrated
Me too.
game. Twice.
Yeah.
Um,
All I did. Listen, I don't have a lot of money, but I did use Zip. I use
eh,
Zip to get to pay off this stuff.
hey, you
So
gotta do
hey,
what you gotta
wait,
do.
hey, when Plan A doesn't work, you got to use Plan B.
There you go. So, I like to get immersed in other stories. Like, I also really do. I'm not gonna lie. I love reality television. I love watching The Traders, Great British Bake Off. Although, is that really reality television? Because that's just like a wholesome show. Um, and yeah, I also like reading too. I get in these cycles of like, okay, if there's like a clock of my interests, there's like books, games, baking,
Right.
cooking, TV shows, movies, music. And then like I'll fixate on different cycles, which my sister-in-law is like, yeah, that's an ADHD thing. I'm like, okay, whatever it is, right now I'm in my fixation of games. So I'm playing one called Salt Sea Chronicles. It's like a mystery exploration game. The animation style is very simple, it's very beautiful. And you only have like two choices for dialogue things. So it's pretty simple. I'm open world games I can get overwhelmed by, although I can appreciate aspects of them. But it helps me just to unplug from everything and get immersed in another world that is not my own, but to be inspired by it and to use it in my work or not, just to simply enjoy it.
Definitely. A lot of hobbies, you want to make sure you just recharge your batteries. Like me, myself, when I come home from work and now I'm back in school about to do, like, about to be done with my certificate. Sometimes I'll hop on Nintendo Switch 2. Maybe I'll just listen to some music. I do listen to some soft music and then I fall asleep. Like I
Like
have my
lo-fi?
headphones. Huh?
Are you like a lo-fi guy? Like just listen to
Yeah.
lo-fi? Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes I
yeah.
listen to lo-fi and sometimes I listen to like some like regular music like Neil Finn and all that stuff. I do like Neil Finn. And sometimes I listen to like hip hop and R&B,
Mm.
but yeah, when I get a little tired or something, I was like, I just put on my Beats headphones and I just lay in bed and I just like listen to music until I fall asleep.
That's nice.
So, and
Mm.
it does work because I was just jamming out in the bed and then I just drifted like this.
Mm,
Hmm.
that's awesome.
Then I wake up and I'm all recharged, ready to get back into it.
Back on to the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, sometimes, well, at least I got some rest. So, I mean, but it's okay. Listen. And yes, like All Might told Deku in season 6, the Dark Hero arc, it's okay to take a break if you're tired.
I don't think I've gotten to the Dark Hero arc yet.
Oh, I probably should have said
Disappointment.
something.
Oh, I can hear that. No, it's okay. I mean, it's been out for this long. That's why I'm like, you know what? If something gets spoiled, that's on me. So that's okay. But no, it gives me more motivation to watch it. I was yeah, there's lots of things I'm watching right now. I'm waiting for the final season of Beastars, like part 2.
Ooh, can't wait for that. To be
Mystery.
honest, yeah, well, my friends are telling me to try out new things. I might start watching Arcane this October.
I also want to get into the show because people are like, you haven't watched that yet? But listen, I was in a dark place when I first started watching it, and I'm like, this is too intense for me. So time and place for the things. The timing will work out. The timing just has not come yet, but I hope you have fun watching Arcane because I heard it's good. I hope I have fun watching Arcane too.
I'll go check it out. So is there a life lesson you've learned through your work that you think everyone should hear?
Yeah. Oh, you want to know what?
Yeah, can you elaborate for me, please? Elaborate for me, please.
I would say there's so many.
Well, pick one.
Arr.
I know.
Life lesson in my voice acting work, particularly. I would say make use of what you have. What I mean by that is like the voice that you have, your life experiences, things that inspire you, the people you have in your life. Like, again, how I got to voice acting was not just like the connections that I had. Like, I constantly told people I'm interested in this. And like the two people who helped propel my voice acting career specifically were from two totally different areas of my life. And within the same week, they told me the same thing to take a voice acting class by Nancy Cartwright on Masterclass. And like one had a free trial, one had a link. These women did not know each other and they were both telling me to do the same thing. And I did it. And it eventually led me to here. But like, again, making use of those resources, like those social resources that you have to the people that you know. And again, these were not people I was very well connected to, but it got me here. So I think in that lesson too, it's also like along the way, you have to trust and believe in yourself. And believe that if you can't do it, there will be people in your life who will be like, hey, you actually are this shit. You actually are super cool. Actually, you have the skills to do it. On the days where you can't be your own best friend, you got to depend on some of those other people to help you. And like we see this time and time again in hero stories, right? Deku is like, I can do this on my own. And it's like, dude, no, you actually need the help of other people to like mentally get you to where you can be, to be All Might and all that stuff. I once had a therapy session where my counselor, he's a big MHA fan, and he was like, okay, so maybe you should say that I want to be the hero in my life that I need to be. But then once the whole like, Korra was a very clear character that I connect with, he's like, you need to be the avatar that you need to be in your own life. I'm kind of butchering it, but the sentiment is like, on those bad days, you got to make do with what you got. And also in terms of like being a voice actor, like that in accessibility with equipment, if like a cheap USB mic is all you can afford right now, that's okay. That's all you can afford right now, you know? And, you know, hopefully you'll get to a point where you can like invest a little bit more in like your equipment or whatever. But even still, like, I think the things that people want in their lives are a lot more accessible to them, but it's about putting in the work and doing that, taking the time to put into yourself.
100%. Definitely. You know, just make sure, you know, make sure you find a role model that help you be, this is who I need to be. Be like the very ultra version of this person in this movie. Be the best, like, be the best versions of ourselves we can be. But yeah, I get you. So, all right, last section 4.
Right, we're getting closer to your bedtime too.
I know, but listen, the thing is, I don't want to go to sleep because I want to play some more Cyberpunk 2077 because I got the game last week.
Oh, nice! I still have yet to play it. So, I'm probably gonna finish this game.
The thing is, I'm probably gonna be playing more games and everything next week because I canceled Dragon Con. I'm not going to Dragon Con this year. Even though we're supposed to go for my birthday. My birthday is next month, September 8th.
Oh my gosh, mine's September 13th.
Really?
So cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be 25.
I will be 29. Happy early birthday to you.
Thank you. So I was like, you know what? Let me just cancel Dragon Con. I'll just save my money for Anime Weekend Atlanta because one, AJ Beckles is going to be there again. So I meet him 2 times this year. I was like, is this guy following me around?
Yeah, he's a fan of you. Duh. He needs boundaries. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, I thought I was careful covering up my tracks.
Guess not careful enough. He can't stay away.
Oh my god! But yeah, and plus, there's other stuff going on. But I'm probably gonna be doing like some more video game walkthroughs because I haven't done a video game walkthrough since June.
Oh, snap. Okay, yeah, it's been a hot
Because,
minute.
well, dang, it's the only reason I did it because I was playing Batman Arkham Knight. It was the 10th anniversary.
Mm.
Listen, I got an Arkham Knight part figure. I ordered the Arkham Knight Batmobile with Batman off of Amazon.
Oh,
He's in my room. I wish I can get up and go get him, but I didn't want to do all
no,
like
you're already
anything.
working hard. It's okay.
So, but yeah, he's like up on the closet with the other Batmobile, the 2022 Batman Robert Pattinson, and now they're about to drop the Lego Batman Legacy stuff next year. Oh my god!
All the
Do you
things.
know? Do you know how many Batmobiles I have in my room?
I can imagine many. You can make an even bigger Batmobile with all your Batmobiles.
I know. I'm a fanboy. Don't
No
judge me.
shame.
I like what I like. Okay.
Yes.
So, um, so section 4, life in general and reflection.
Mm.
How do you handle creative blocks or self doubt? Like this is too much for me. I don't know if I can do it.
Dang. I feel like those are two questions. For the creative blocks, again, I find I unplug, I find something else that inspires me, but I don't put the pressure on like, I need to be re-inspired. I gotta go find inspiration here. No. I just pause, breathe. Life is a lot. Let me just go where I feel compelled to go right now. Is it video games? Is it baking? Is it hanging out with my friends? Talking to my mom? I don't know, So that's that. And I guess similar to self-doubt too, I talk to my people because like I know that one voice in my head can get super whack. And so I have to talk to like my husband or my sister or my other best friends like, hey, this is what I'm thinking right now. That's whack, right? And like again, the fact that I ask that's whack, right? I know on one level that absolutely I shouldn't be listening to that doubt, but it's human, natural. And so just to be reminded by my people like, no, here's why you're awesome and stuff like that. I get recharged. I mean also again, I pray about it too. And I'm like, please, Holy Spirit, just let me, feel and be where I'm at. And also to accept that I'm not gonna be at 100 every day, and that's okay.
Right.
Having that level of acceptance of like where life is that day.
Hey, again, eating a whole cake, eat it piece by piece.
Piece by piece. That's right. Yeah.
Don't-
Even
don't-
like the Costco cookies, they come in those really big packs.
Oh yes.
Like
Oh, those
even,
are delicious.
they are delicious, but let me tell you, I think my tolerance for sugar has just gone way down. And so like when it comes to one of those cookies, they have this really good marshmallow crispy cookie. It's really good. But like I can only have like a fifth of it at a time. Otherwise, my stomach like instantly hurts. But I think that's just like a lesson of like, you don't have to eat the whole cookie or the cake right now. It can
There you
come in
go.
waves.
Yes.
Water.
Wave.
Mm.
That's another good analogy too.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
looking at wave files all the day, Again, that's
Yes.
like another way that water feels really present to me. And life is just punny. Oh, God is so good. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Hold on. What does success mean to you personally and professionally?
Professionally, success, like Charlie Adler said, it's how I feel. I'm not going to say before an audition because sometimes before an audition, I'm like, oh, I don't feel so good. How I feel during an audition and after a recording. I mean, also like being present in the recording, but like, again, self-doubt comes in during recording sometimes. And I'm like, no. But after that, being like, wow, you had that moment. Embrace that, celebrate that. And not basing my success on like the things and what and how often I'm booking, because then that's just a lot of pressure. Personally, I think my success is that like where I'm headed is aligned with where I believe God wants me to be, and just like letting His will be done in my life. I feel like all the stuff I've been through, everything that I've wanted, I have received. And it's been a lot of hard work to get there. It's been a lot of like, detaching from certain things and stuff like that. Not just professionally, but personally too. But but I feel good right now. Yeah. And I hope to feel this good all the time. And I know that's not going to be the reality, but I know I'm going to do my biggest effort to feel similarly to how I am now with all the changes that will come in my life.
Just nice here. And yeah, like you said, just make sure you have that connection with God. Just keep praying and know everything's going to work out the way it needs to be.
Yeah.
You know, my uncle sends me like lessons on Sunday. So there's that. So, hey, Sunday, right? So always. So let's see, next one. So if you could give one piece of advice to someone trying to break into voice acting, what would it be?
It would be, yeah, definitely make use of what you have right now and put your dream out there. I would say to know like why you want to get into this in the first place would be good. So that way that's something you can always go back to on days where you get here and there and, you know, get a little distracted or lose your focus a little bit. But really start verbalizing it. I know that it sounds ridiculous and people might be like, what? There's gonna be a lot of haters that come along the way and like, you can't do that. But knowing that there will be people along the way who you can really trust and who will help be those phone calls you have on days where it gets tough and you're like, I don't believe in myself. Be like, nope, keep going for it, you know? Because you never know who you tell that will make you think, that will connect you to that next person that you want to talk to. And keep on going for it. Continue to be inspired. Continue to consume like the animations that you like, you know,
Yeah.
Video games, TV, I already said video games. You can tell I'm really thinking about video games.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
What are you doing after
doing
this?
that. I got no complaints here.
Yeah. So make do with what you got and like trust that you accepting that you want this dream to be a reality, that's already huge. So really lean into that and go for it. And like once you get there, enjoy it. Because I feel like this advice is what I would tell myself to continue doing, to like, why are you here? What's inspiring you? Are you having fun? Are you like giving yourself that permission? And if the answer is no, I gotta, you know, reflect a little bit more. But also like, there's so much out there. There's so many people to help you get to where you want to go.
Nice. You gotta have those connections. Trust me, make those connections because that's at the end of the day, that's all you want. You know, there's been a lot of people who just want to push people out, but then when it's not really the case, like you need to have those connections that help you get to whatever career you're trying to do. You need to make sure you know connect with people. You like, you know, listen. I'll be honest. Sometimes I'm a shy person. Back then, I wasn't a people person, but I'm trying to open more to people, just like I'm talking to you now. Open up like my experiences, what I had to go through, because I know different people had like different ways of storytelling. You know, it's been rough, but you know, I am working to talk more. That's just why I started this podcast. I feel like, hey, maybe I should talk to more people instead of just like doing photos. Like I've done a lot of interviews back then when I was in college. You know, I've done 3 documentaries. I can keep doing this kind of stuff. So I just figure, hey, podcast came along. You know, y'all don't want to see me just playing video games all the time, not interacting with people. You know how often those Twitch streams just be dead quiet and everything. Sometimes we don't have a lot of people at the moment, but at that time now, I just realized maybe it's just not about money. I'm just focused on just putting stuff that people like. You know, just want people to express myself.
Yeah, totally. And you're doing it, see? And like just taking those moments to like appreciate where you're at, because like you had to do a lot of mental gymnastics and stuff to get to where you are today. And that's something to celebrate and to just like soak in that moment. Because there's so many other little moments that helped you get to this moment.
And even added on to that from when I talked about Soul, I did a video about, you know, with Dorothea Williams and just playing like the whole scene in my video where he was playing the piano and just remembering like the simple parts in life, you know, eating pizza, you know, the lollipop, getting a haircut, all that stuff.
Just being in the zone.
Yeah, and he was saying like, you know, those really aren't purposes, 22. That's just regular old living. That's fine. Regular old living is okay.
Yeah, that's what's so beautiful.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So just listen. Those Pixar films always lift me up in life since I was a kid. And Up, I cried 2 times. Okay,
Mm.
just I just couldn't. I just couldn't. I cried
I have
two
to admit
times.
something. I actually admitted this recently to my husband. I don't think I've actually seen Up in full. I've seen the beginning. I see Ellie going, oh, Ellie. Um, but I actually don't think I've seen the full movie because I saw something like an IG reel that shows like the ending. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that. And he's like, what? So
Man, in those life lessons, when he saw the book that Ellie left behind, it was blank, but he realized there was more.
mm,
So, but Ellie left him a nice little message before she passed away, and that really started me tearing up for a third time.
mm,
She was saying, "Thanks for the adventure. Now go have a new one."
uh,
So that's what Pixar's supposed to do.
woo,
Supposed to have all those things.
yeah.
So, oh man, now I want to watch it again.
All right, we got homework to do. Time to watch Up after this.
That's the thing. But let's see. I'm going to. Sorry, I got emotional there.
No, it's
Listen,
okay.
sometimes in these conversations, I almost cried in one of my episodes
Hmm.
because I was just like having those like heart to heart moments.
Yeah. You're emoting. You're human.
Exactly what I told her. I said, well, I forget I'm still a human being. It's okay to get emotional.
You're like, oh no, my programming. Oh, human.
So
Yeah. Well, thank you
let's
for being part of. I'm glad to be here in this moment with you.
no problem, no problem. Let's see. If let's see. How do you see the future of voice acting evolving, especially now with technology like AI voices? How do you see that going on?
Oof. Well, I mean, we just ended for SAG-AFTRA for video games. We just ended our strike and we fought really hard to have those protections against big companies using AI without our consent. Like having
Right.
digital replicas of our work and stuff. I think it's something that we're going to continue to face probably. And I hope that I feel like it's just going to be the same for a while until technology gets better. And someone might be like, "Excuse me, technology's already getting better. We should be more scared." But I don't think we should let fear dictate, the things that we
No.
do. I think like, remembering we are human and have our humanity, like AI is not going to take that away if we don't let it. So I think that's where like, you know, we as the people, voice actors, versus like big companies,
Right.
and just like, people watching things in general, like we have the power of the people. And I think we forget that because if like on streaming, if we had a lot of people being like, listen, you need to stop doing this, I would hope that big companies would be like, okay, fine. Like if we all stopped watching Netflix to like boycott that, then Netflix would have no money, right? But the reality is I don't think people are gonna like stop watching Netflix. Um,
No.
so short answer, I think it'll be the same for a while. I think we should be informed of the technologies around us and how they can be
Yeah.
misused, but
Yes.
also how they can be tools too.
Hey, trust me, I believe you. And listen, one of my friends, when I interviewed her, she was a cosplayer. When I was sending her information about these conventions, like I said, I do my research and see what's going on. She said, I'm going to have to take a page out of your book, do research and do some information searching and everything. Because most people don't take the time out of their day to go and research that stuff. And listen, my language again, you guys are just so desperate for attention and everything. You know what? I was gonna say this until we got out, but I'm gonna say it in here. If you don't mind. Like there was this incident. With SAG after. I don't know if you're familiar with this person named Kaylee Mills or something. If you're not familiar with her, then no. Yeah, they were saying like she was making fun of another voice actor, Japanese voice actor.
Ooh.
But here's the thing. I was like, and listen, I was saying, listen, she made a mistake. That's on her. I can understand that part, but that doesn't give you a right to keep harassing her now. So
Mhm.
here's the other thing too. Like when this guy, he kept attacking me because I was defending her. So I gave him the receipts. I kept fact checking him. He didn't like what I said, so he sent me. But he sent me a nice little message. So guess what? Guess what he told me? Yeah.
Not nice things.
No, he said, and I wrote, "I'm gonna track you down and cut off your hand."
Oh gosh.
Yes, but here's how I responded. I was like, I actually like this message you sent me about the part gonna cut off my hands. My hands will most likely be holding a cordless hole puncture in them. She might have to deal with that first, but good luck there, bud. So, but here's the thing: when he did that, I mentioned the threat. He deleted his Instagram.
Wow.
So I was like, so here's the thing, and I also did a video myself saying, if you don't like what I said, don't start poking around my profile and send me threats
No.
because you're going to be doing that type of stuff right there. I'm going to make it real public for you.
There you go. Yeah.
So,
Gotta hold people accountable.
but I was just saying, I know that was, but I thought I just might want to throw this in here if I could, but.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why it's called editing. But I think it's gonna be fine. But I just want to mention that because I was like, like she was like, video games. I know Genshin Impact had a few challenges as well.
Mm.
So, but I know it's like gonna be. You're still gonna have a lot of challenges ahead of you. But I know you guys will figure a way out.
It's true. And again, like we see time and time again in stories, man versus man, man versus God, God versus man, like whatever. Like we have to remember that there are solutions to our problems, but they do take work, they do take time, they take research and being thoughtful about the end result, the process also,
Yeah. It's nice that you guys are still keeping up the fight with these SAG after. Listen. I know AI. Listen, and be honest, sometimes I use ChatGPT to help me out when I have to when I have to like reword stuff. Like I actually write down my own paragraphs first, like
Mhm.
my own personal paragraphs, and then ChatGPT is like helps me like beat it up or rephrase it if I can. Like that's like the only time I use it. If I have to but I don't, other than that, that's pretty much what I use it for. I don't use it for anything else.
Yeah, honestly, if they're used as tools and they're used well, like I don't see a problem with it.
But I know as long as y'all just take it one day at a time, it'll be okay.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
So you get it.
Mhm.
Preach.
Okay,
Oh.
you're back. You froze for a second. You were like this, and I was like,
I was
lean
like,
down
you
the law.
froze. You froze too. Ooh. So I don't think you heard what I said. I was saying I know it's going to be a long fight coming, but I know you guys will be able to work together and find solutions to get figure that stuff out.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I think that's all the time here. We talked for almost 2 hours.
Wow, time flew
So-
by.
So this is gonna be a long one. I promised Jay that I would send him the copy to see how it worked out. I mean, he's gonna see it regardless when I put it on YouTube. Gotta do some edits first, but thing is, by the time I finish, this is gonna take a long time to upload on my Google Drive.
You got all this stuff to cut. Thank you. I know you're gonna be spending a lot of time to just like let that
Yeah,
happen.
it's gonna listen before I even touch it. It's gonna have to upload to Google Drive, so I can't do nothing.
Oh,
So, but
okay.
it was nice talking to you, Merk. You are a very nice lady. I appreciate talking to
Oh.
you.
Thank you so much. And hey, happy early birthday.
Thank you. I hope and wish me luck with the other voice actors I got coming up. I think we're gonna have some good conversations. But yeah, I think we really did a good job. Like I said, I want to talk to you guys. I told people voice actors coming soon. You're the first one, and I appreciate you talking to me.
Oh, well, happy to be the first. What a pleasure. Okay, well, have fun. Go to bed. Jam out to your music. I'm gonna go play some games.
Me too. It's be safe out there, all right?
All right, you too. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.